Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Back of the Pack at the Backmarkers podcast with myself, Zane, and average F1 consumer, Graham. And yes, Graham has actually trusted me to do the intro today, so it's a bit of a big deal for me, I can't lie. Anyway, we've been rated 5 stars on Apple Podcasts by Plate Wanter, sick name by the way, who said, "Great show, I listened to it before bed, weird dreams." And honestly, fair enough. So yeah, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. So Graham, the Formula 1 fake break has come to an end, okay? We've finally been treated to some Formula 1 action. They made us wait for it, but we finally got it. How was your Blue Balls experience this weekend?
It was something. My whole weekend has been very weird, just in my whole life. If you watch my spa video, you know why, because I've been moving out of my house and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I can't even remember qualifying at this point, just because it was a sprint weekend, and then we had the sprint race on Saturday morning, qualifying. It's just everything blended together into just this one clusterfuck of nothing, because it was all just nothing. And, you know, yeah, I think a Blue Balls experience is a pretty good way to put it. I won't hold you. I'm just disappointed overall, but I called it. I knew Spa was going to suck. And everyone was like, no, it's not, dude. Spa's a great track. But I know it's a great track, but it's F1's fault. So I'm a little disappointed with the Blue Balls experience. How was your experience watching? Well, you were at Formula E, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, At the Sunday I was at Formula E. The rest of it, I managed to catch all of that. I actually managed to catch the race, like most of the race at the event as well. I went sort of like the chill zone there and just chilled, because I'm chill. And just like watch the race there. And yeah, I can't lie, it was low-key, it was a stressful watch this weekend. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, I felt like I was there, but not there like, you know, as a fan enjoying the action. I felt like I was there being sort of just like a marshal, you know, just doing some sort of just like shit job. Like, I felt like I was working at the weekend. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. What do you mean by that? You were at the race. Were you doing a bunch of content or something?
Nah, man, not even.
I saw you playing with that little robot.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad. Basically, for context, there was like this little robot at the Formula E, and I was saying to my mate, like, do you think I could just get away with just like pushing it about and like bullying it? Gave it a try, and yeah, it was alright.
He didn't fall.
But yeah, he didn't fall, man. He actually had like decent balance, so you gotta rate that. But yeah, no, I agree. Like, Spa, it was, you know, it used to be sort of like one of my favorite ones on the calendars that I'd always like keep an eye out for. This year it's just like Spa, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting big things from it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were, and maybe that was people who maybe haven't watched a Spa race before in the past 3 years, but we all knew it was coming. So with that being said, what are your clowns and crowns of the week, Zane?
Yes, the clowns. I was going to say the clowns and crowns this week. There's a lot of contenders for different ones.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying crown, it's got to be Piastri, right? I wanted to say someone else, but I don't want to like, you know, sort of like get struck by the bias, please, which, you know, I've been struck by many a time. But Piastri, yeah, he turned up, yeah. He did his classic moves of putting his balls on the table. He did his shit. He won his trophy, and he went home. And I just got to rate that for him.
He didn't do anything, really. He just drove the car. And he looked in his rearview mirrors every 2 laps, and Lando's off the track. That's all he did. So
exactly,
very fair crown. Who's your clown?
I was going to say, and that brings me to my clown of the weekend, which for me, that's got to be Lando Norris, man. Like,
it's valid.
You know, especially getting pole as well. Also, you said in your video, how can you fumble a rolling start?
Exactly. And I got some people in the comments that were like, it's actually way harder to do that. And then like, oh, his battery was messing up. And then Oscar's battery had the same problem. You know what this reminds me of? Bahrain 2024. Charles Leclerc locks it into turn 10,000 times. And everyone was like, it's the car. And then Carlos Sainz had the same problem the whole time and, you know, went on the podium or whatever. I don't remember what he did.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the same thing.
Yeah, no. I agree. That's low-key L will knowledge from the commenters on your post in that case. Sorry to bring out L wheel knowledge so
L
early
wheel
on in
knowledge,
this
bruh.
episode.
Did you notice that I changed that? I made our TikTok bio L wheel knowledge, bruh.
I did notice that because what happens is when you update the bio on Instagram, because I'm tagged in it, I get a notification to say like, you know, I've been tagged in the bio.
Yeah.
I just see L wheel knowledge. I was like, fuck's sake, man.
I like it. I'm gonna keep it. I mean, unless you don't like it, I want to keep it that way. I'm a big fan.
Bro, it's you know, it's become tradition at this point. We're low-key, we went from, you know, absolutely hating the phrase W and L wheel knowledge.
Well, I still hate it. I just think it's funny to make fun of it.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. But we've sort of like, from that hatred, we've gained sort of like a tradition.
Yeah.
You know? It's become like we can make L wheel knowledge merch.
L wheel knowledge, bruh. That would actually be. I'd wear that shirt. Anyways, may I please go into my crowns and clowns?
Go ahead. Let's hear your crown and clowns of the
cool.
weekend.
My crown, gotta take it. Lewis Hamilton. I don't know if that's who you're talking about with the bias police.
Yeah.
That's
Hell yeah.
Nah, Lewis had a great race. Well, he didn't have a great weekend, but he did have a great Grand Prix, which is all that really matters. Terrible sprint qualifying. Where did he qualify for the Grand Prix? Also Q1, or was it Q1 as well?
Yeah.
It was two Q1 exits.
Started. Yeah.
Exactly. Not a great weekend, but great race. Great race. And I don't know if you saw it, but the Ferrari is apparently no longer being developed for the rest of the season, allegedly, from Formula Racers. Exactly. They said that. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but you better, you know, enjoy these P4, P5s while they last, because other teams are definitely going to keep developing, but maybe 2026 will pay off.
Exactly. But, I mean, I saw a stat as well, which is interesting regarding the Ferrari. You know, Leclerc's got as many podiums this year as Verstappen.
That's kind of crazy. I would have never guessed that.
Right? Anyway, let's hear your flipping clown of the weekend.
I got to go with the VCARB strategists for what they did to Isaac Hadjar, what they did to my boy. We've been giving Isaac Hadjar a lot of praise on this podcast just because he's a funny guy. I like him a lot. And he qualified above Lawson, right? Like P8, I believe, and Lawson was P9.
Sure. Yeah.
Dude, the pit strategy, they just destroyed his entire race. Like, he had no chance of coming back because which we'll get into the water in a bit, but the pit stops were just so early. And I mean, you can't really get caught off guard like that. There's no excuse, you know? You just completely ruined. And Hadjar couldn't even handle the mediums. So I don't know if that was a setup problem or what, but it's hard to think that this would be a Isaac Hadjar problem, that the mediums just grained up in 5 laps or whatever. Like, it was crazy because Oscar took the mediums to the end, and while he is in the McLaren, Lawson was on the mediums too. And I don't know, it just seemed like a setup issue, like something was going wrong that was not Isaac Hadjar and that it was RB's fault. And they just ruined his entire race.
Yeah, no, 100%. Also, a little honourable mention for Aston Martin as well. Just a bit of a shit weekend overall.
Oh, yeah. It was P19, P20 in sprint qualifying, right? Did they do that again in Grand Prix qualifying?
Yeah. Qualifying, I can't remember exactly where, but they did shit, basically.
Dude, we both are not tapped in. We both have had busy weekends this weekend. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Like, I watched all the sessions. I cannot remember virtually anything except the race.
Blur, right?
Yeah, just because.
This is why I don't like sprint race weekends.
It's too much racing.
I'm not going to lie. Right? I'm going to die on that hill. One of the reasons why I love Formula One is like the prestige of the race weekend on a Sunday. You know, like you've got qualifying on the Saturday. The build up to that is insane, right? Saturday, like the rest of the day Saturday, you're thinking like, oh shit, you know, we're starting from P3. I wonder how we're going to do like going into turn 1. Bro, with 2 qualifying sessions, 2 races. Personally, for me, it's too much, and it takes away from the prestige. I don't know about you, but I don't know. I don't feel like that's a controversial opinion.
No, I don't think that's controversial at all. But what was great about this sprint weekend is that it was very easy to forget. So I'm not upset. And actually, now that I think about it, I did not watch the sprint because it was at 6 in the morning, and I set my alarm for 6, and I slept through it. So it was actually really clutch. Sleep was actually my best friend this weekend because I woke up at 9 o'clock for the race on Sunday, and I fell back asleep because I was like, oh, I guess there's a delay. So I fell back asleep, and I wake up, and they're doing laps on the safety car. I was like half awake, and I was like, wait, it's lap 3? There's already a safety car? And then I realized they're just driving in circles. And it was a mess.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that brings us on sort of like the first topic for this episode, the whole FIA and just the rain. Like, talk me through it. Obviously, I was at the Formula E event, so I could easily just turn off my phone and saying like, oh, it's not starting yet. What was your experience of just like this, wait?
It's so stupid. I don't understand. It's the problem with the FIA isn't that they make bad calls. It's that they make inconsistent calls. One of the biggest things that people have been saying is, look at Brazil 2024. Monsoon. Yeah. And they're free to race. And at Spa, a track with debatably more runoff than Brazil. It's maybe not as safe at Eau Rouge, but the rest of the track is pretty relaxed.
Yeah, right.
They don't let them race until there's a dry line on the track, and I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen anything like that, so I really don't understand where this is coming from or like what started it. It just makes zero sense to me.
Honestly, yeah, I agree. It's just inconsistent. Mm-hmm. But has the game gone? Are the classic days of Formula One gone? Which, when I say classic days, I mean like literally last year.
When what? What do you mean?
Like, has Formula One gone soft? Are they too scared to put drivers out in the rain?
I don't
know what I mean.
I hope not. I mean, I don't think this will be a consistent thing, going back to the fact that they are inconsistent. I wouldn't be surprised if we raced this year in a monsoon in Brazil, maybe. But I mean, F1's gone soft in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And I'm not one to diss on the halo. Don't take it that way. But yeah, it's just not the same. The cars are too big, and that's because they're going soft. I get safety, but
yeah,
let's chill out on the I'm scared of the rain. And you know who was making it worse? Little Lando Norris. Oh yeah, I think we should do a couple more laps under safety car. I would really like that. Little fucker. Dude, that made me so mad because I had just woken up to that. Literally, the first words I heard on Sunday was Lando Norris on the radio complaining about the safety car needing to do more laps. It was ridiculous. And I get it. Like, he wants to win. But why would you want to win like that? There's no victory against a unworthy adversary, right?
Imagine Max Verstappen saying that.
I definitely can. I definitely can. Remember in Japan when Lando drove onto the grass and he was like, Max pushed me off? That's what everyone remembers, right? Max was also like, he went off the pit limiter early. Which wasn't true. Max will also whine his way to a win if he can, because he is the ultimate, I will do whatever it takes to win.
Oh yeah, zero shame.
Exactly. So I mean, you can disagree with me. We never disagree on anything.
What do you mean? We never disagree on anything. We never. Sorry, wait. This must have been like one of the first times in human history that a British person didn't understand an American person's sarcasm. That's pretty crazy.
Well, but I wasn't being sarcastic. We genuinely don't disagree on a lot.
Do you not think? I feel like we disagree on a lot of shit.
Well, we're disagreeing on this right now, so I don't know. Point is, the water sucked.
Yeah, and I love a wet race. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I love it. Like, even if, let's say, Ferrari are on pole. Okay, actually, no, I'm not gonna say that because that's just not true.
Let's keep things realistic here.
Yeah, exactly. Any race, right? Let's say Ferrari isn't on pole. I'm begging for rain. I'm begging for rain and carnage. Like, okay, Brazil last year was a bit too much. That was a stressful watch.
Well, Alpine on the podium is
still
never fun to watch.
Yeah, but you know, it's fun. It's an entertaining watch sometimes, but most of the time, I just love a wet race. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. And I mean, we had it in Britain.
yeah, literally. And you just know that like something's going to happen. You know, you're going to see George Russell spit it off. Like
You're going to see Charles Leclerc in the gravel 8 times. It's awesome, you know.
Yeah, define awesome, mate. Define awesome, mate.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I thought it was awesome. That boy cannot drive in the wet. I'm sorry. That is one, because Charles Leclerc looks like the perfect human being. He's a Formula One driver. He's got a million expensive watches. He's got Ferraris at his disposal. But when it's raining outside and he's going to the grocery store, he's going to be driving. He's like that teenage girl that's hydroplaning in a circle. That's his one weakness. It's not like he's got bad breath or he's got this or that. It's whenever he drives in the wet,
water.
He turns into a helicopter.
It's his kryptonite. It's his kryptonite.
It is.
But yeah, Britain, forget about it. I really do not want to talk about Leclerc's performance.
No, we don't need
Britain.
to. I will give him his props for Spa. P3 was impressive.
Man, honestly, I can't lie. L weekend.
But W for me because I called it. And everyone was in my comments when I posted the video on like Wednesday or Thursday. I was like, Spa's going to suck. They were like, no, it's not. What do you mean? Spa's awesome. I didn't say it wasn't awesome, bro. But
yeah, you know what you didn't call though? Grid rival picks. But we'll get on to that in a little bit.
We'll get to that later. I don't know how to feel about that, but we'll leave it for later. Love motorsports? Then be sure to check out Grid Rival. Grid Rival is a fantasy sports platform focused on motorsports, including Formula One, NASCAR, MotoGP, IndyCar, and soon even more. It offers both season-long fantasy leagues that honestly just do it better than the F1 app, and also a daily fantasy picks contest where users can win real money. Scan the QR code on screen and Grid Rival will match your first deposit up to $100 with the same amount in free picks. So be sure to head on over and challenge your friends to face off on the ultimate online fantasy motorsports platform.
Anyway, Graham, McLaren this weekend, two different sides of the garage, two completely different stories, right? Let's just have a little weekly check-in into Norris's mental space. I feel like that's become like a big, sort of like talking point of this podcast.
It has.
And I'm just gonna throw you with a little quote, some food for thought, if you like, right? And I quote, "I'm a guy that's easily influenced by what people say. Sometimes I just care too much." And my question to you is, does he listen to the Backmarkers podcast?
Yes. But that's also like, we already knew that. We knew. Yeah. We know that you read social media comments and block people on Instagram, and he probably has more screen time than we do. He spends a lot of time, I would assume, reading through what people are saying about him. He probably reads a bunch of articles about himself, which is why he makes these mistakes. He needs to stop reading articles and Instagram comments because then he gets all freaked out. And to think that some 13-year-old kid in, Dublin, Georgia, can affect Lando Norris. Literally, he can comment on Lando's Instagram and say, "Man, you are terrible at racing Formula One cars." That might have been why Lando locked up at La Source. Maybe one comment was the first one. The second one was a different one. I don't know. Maybe the going wide at turn 9 was an ESPN article. I don't know. But the point is, it drives me insane that this guy is so addicted to just reading things about himself. Just stop. Just focus on the racing, and then it won't be as much of a problem.
Right? I don't feel like any other driver on the grid has this issue, where they seem like so, I don't want to say like self-absorbed in their, what people say about them. I mean, maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe I just can't relate to that.
I'm trying to think of any, if there are any other ones.
I feel like no one else is getting that affected by it but him. Unless maybe it's just his position where he's like, fighting for a championship. But
I don't think it is, because it was a thing. Like, it's always been a thing, because Lando's always been he's got his quadrant stuff. He's got his LN4 brand. He was on Twitch a bunch. He like made friends with a bunch of streamers and stuff. And he's always been very integrated into the internet, probably more than any other driver. And it wasn't a problem until he started winning races. Because then he's in the hot seat. And those same people who were criticizing Leclerc or Sainz or Russell or Hamilton or whoever's finishing behind Max Verstappen that day, now they're talking about Lando Norris because he's the one finishing behind Max Verstappen that day. And now people are saying, oh, nice going, idiot. You messed up.
Yeah.
And he was free to do that when he was finishing P7, P8 because no one's paying attention.
No one cared. Yeah.
Now he's in the spotlight and he can't take it.
This weekend, it just seemed like he made so many like stupid mistakes that weren't anyone else's fault but his own. Honestly, like if I had $1, right, for every single mistake that Norris made this weekend, I'd be able to buy me like a sandwich, like a decent sandwich, right? With today's economy, that's saying a lot.
I could not buy
a good $4 worth of sandwich,
£4?
right?
Are we talking £4?
I'm saying £4. I think
I can't get a decent sandwich for $4.
I'm thinking like you can definitely get a meal deal easily here, but maybe creeping into Subway territory. I'm not gonna lie.
Subway is low-key taxing as fuck these days. Dude, we can't do this again. We've gone into food too many times on this show. We can't do it. I know people have said they love the steering off into random topics. I cannot talk about fast food again on this show.
I'm pretty sure we spent 14 minutes talking about fast food on the first episode that we ever did.
And then another 14 on the second one. It was bad. Yeah, Lando Norris choked 4 times. And the chokiest choke of them all was what do you think was the biggest choke of all of them? Because there were several. There wasn't 4. I counted the start, the first lock into
where are you from?
Into La Source, the second lock into La Source, and there was another one. I can't remember the other one. I didn't count the pit stop.
It was when he was. No, you didn't count the pit stop. It was.
Oh, when he went off of Puen. Yeah.
That was a costly one though.
The Puen one. Yeah,
when he went off, he lost a good couple of seconds of that, especially when he was in a position where he was actually gaining on Piastri at that point as well. I don't know. I feel like having more than one lockup in that position is pretty crazy as well, in my opinion. Like, I'm not gonna compare myself to a Formula One driver, right?
Yeah, you will.
I'm not gonna compare myself to a Formula One driver, but whenever I go sort of like karting, right, and I make a mistake, I say to myself, I'm never gonna make that mistake again. If I'm taking a corner too wide, I'm gonna make sure that I never take that corner too wide. And I'm not gonna lie, I stick to it because I sort of like hyper focus on that.
You're not pushing.
And I'll make some other like shit mistakes elsewhere on the track. But you know what I mean? I feel like that's a mental thing as well. Maybe he's just not paying attention. Maybe he's just thinking of like, what kind of reel he's gonna make afterwards, or like
he's thinking about the next LN4 post. Or Lando JPEG. That's another one we talked about before. That is,
we haven't touched on that recently, but
Lando JPEG. That Lando is the downfall of. Can you imagine Max.jpg? It'd just be different pictures of his sim racing setup, because that's all he does. He doesn't go around to Dubai and take pictures of camels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I will admit, when Daniel did it, it was cool.
Yeah, because Daniel is cool. Interesting. He does interesting things.
And he's like, and he's posting pictures of him doing interesting things, or even just like wholesome things, like him having a beer with his mates.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, Lando's like him with his little disposable camera in the mirror, hitting like the...
Yeah.
I hate it.
That's going to give me nightmares.
Well, anyways, what I think is the biggest choke, because like you said, You make a mistake once, then you don't make it again. He made the mistake at Puen once. He didn't do it again. He made the mistake at turn 9 once. He didn't do it again. He did one at La Source, and then he did do that one again. And the second one, while it wasn't even as bad of a lockup in itself, it was worse in terms of the exit. I think that was the worst.
Yeah.
He had just gotten the gap to 3 seconds with 2 laps to go. Very long laps at Spa. It's anyone's game. If you can get in DRS by the next lap, which he was flying at that point.
Yeah.
And he got back to 3 seconds by the line. By the time they finished the race, he was only down 3.4, which is insane. He was down 5 with like a lap and a half to go. Brought it down a second and a half.
He definitely had a lot of pace.
Yeah, he did. And I think the second one is the worst because that was the moment that he thought to himself, I can win this. I have a chance to win this. And he got in his own, he got too excited. It's like a dog. When you get home and the dog jumps on, you ever met a dog where you see it and when it jumps on you and it's all excited and then it just pisses? Yeah. You ever seen a dog? I've seen a couple of them in my life. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, he pissed on my leg. Lando Norris pissed on my leg this weekend. Put that on a t-shirt. But no, that's the one. The dog was behaving well. You know, might have chewed up a couple shoes at Puen and turn 9 and La Source. But the second time, that's when the first place trophy got home from work. And little Lando he's jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
And then he pisses himself.
Just fucks it.
Exactly. And the angle, I don't know if you remember on the broadcast, the angle was like the worst one we could have had. But I remember seeing, you couldn't see the wheel lock up, but I was like, he is going really wide. And then he doesn't get on the throttle. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you just know.
Yeah.
Will he ever win a championship? Because I feel like our answer changes weekly with this. Let me hear your take.
So what, 3 races ago after Canada, I was like, all right, Lando's going to lock in. And he did for 2 races. Well, for 1 race. He won Austria on merit. He did not win Britain on merit. Oscar Piastri made a mistake. And Spa, he choked. And I feel like that motivation he had is gone now. Because now he's going to be like falling into this downward spiral for the next 3 races.
Yeah.
And props to him because after the race, it seems like he's talking more like a normal person instead of like crying. He's like, oh, like Hungary's a good track for me. Like I'm going to try and win Hungary. I almost stood up and started clapping. Just, I have never seen Lando Norris handle media well. And he actually did. He was just like, yep, they made a little mistake today. Like, gonna go get Hungary. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Good job, dude. I know you're gonna go on Instagram and see if people are saying the same thing I'm saying, but you know, good job anyways.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Maybe he's telling
Wait, no, I didn't even answer the question.
Oh yeah. Yeah. In general, not just this season.
In general, well, okay. I'm gonna actually answer your question with a question. Do you think Lando Norris will ever be in a car as good as this car? Subjectively, obviously.
The McLaren car is a lot faster than any other car on the grid, in my opinion. So I'm saying no. This is his shot. This is his shot, man.
I also agree. I think this year, Oscar is not a rookie by any means. Oops. But, you know, he's still not in his prime. I will say that.
Agreed.
If people get upset at me about that, I'm not hating on Piastri. The kid's amazing. But it's only his 3rd season. And like, look at what Yuki Tsunoda was doing in his 3rd season. Not much. Look at what did Giovinazzi had 3 seasons?
Yeah, of course, man.
Was he doing much in his 3rd season?
Nope.
Look at what Logan Sargent's doing in his 3rd season. He's testing an IndyCar.
Yeah.
You know, Piastri has evolved into a great driver. And there were shades of that even when the car wasn't great. So
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's
Exactly.
either now or never for Lando Norris. I think he'll go down
Exactly.
as maybe a Rubens Barrichello, maybe I'm trying to draw a couple other similarities. Maybe like a Heikki
Massa.
Kovalainen. Felipe Massa's a good one. Maybe like Danny Rick. Maybe he leaves McLaren and
Yeah.
then his
Yeah.
career just goes down the toilet.
That's a good shout. Good shout. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. Sort of like my sort of like response to the whole will he win a championship is that I see him, and this is sort of like my future prediction with Lando Norris in general. I see him, especially after this season, generating what I like to call a stink. Right? You're familiar with Tottenham Hotspur, right?
Yes.
They were just known for not winning, right? And it becomes a tradition. It becomes like part of the fabric.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lando's just going to sort of like possess that sort of stink. Whereas like anywhere he goes, he's just not going to win. And then teams are just going to be like, shit man, I don't want this guy. He doesn't win. Like he gets there, but he doesn't like get past the line.
But didn't Tottenham
And I
win
feel like
something
that's just-
recently? Didn't they win their first trophy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a miracle, man.
Well, what if, Lando winning Britain was low-key a miracle?
If he gets it done, it'll be a last dance kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that's a good analogy, Lando being Tottenham. I like that.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yeah, as you were touching on Piastri,
I was doing what?
let's talk about Piastri.
Do you want to talk about Piastri or you want me to touch on him a little
I
more?
love to talk about Piastri.
Okay, let's talk about
Yeah.
Piastri.
As you were saying, he's sick. And what is actually pretty low-key embarrassing, right? And mate, I hate to have to bring out Drive to Survive receipts. Okay.
Oh man, here we go.
I remember the season when Piastri joined and Norris was sort of like, he was given the whole George Russell this season act of like being the older brother. Back then when Piastri started, he was saying like, oh yeah, Piastri, he's just like, it's unbelievable how young he is coming into the sport. He's so young.
He's a
so
year
raw.
younger than you. Or 2 years younger
Right,
than
but
Lando.
but I just vividly remember Norris acting like sort of like the older brother figure here. Bro, he's getting his ass whipped by his younger sibling.
By little bro.
Pretty nuts, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not a good look. And I just think like, Piastri, man, I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not even gonna try and gloss over the said glossed glaze that I'm about to give right now. Yeah. I think he's sick. Yeah. Nonchalant. He doesn't give a shit, right? He turns up, does his shit, collects his medal and his trophy, and goes home. Yeah. He's not there to throw like a little parade of anything.
But he did throw a little hissy fit in Britain.
Yeah, but like that just proves that he's human.
That's
Like, he has to
true.
do that every now and then, just like prove that he is human.
I can rock with that.
I think he's the real deal. Yeah, I think he's the real deal. I do rate him, and I do think he's the kind of guy that I would be happy to like go out with my daughter, my future daughter. You know what I mean? Like, nice, just sick at what he does, respectable. So just, yeah, I'm not even going to try and disguise the glaze. I'm a big Piastri lover right now.
This is a lot of Piastri glaze right now. I won't hold you. But I respect it. Yeah.
I think it's hard to make a case against that.
No, I agree. And the Piastri glaze is totally warranted.
Let's look at like the rest of the grid. Obviously, I want to talk about Ferrari a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'll give you the stage. If you actually
I
want
can't
to,
not.
do you want to do the thing again where I leave and you?
Well, you just like fuck off and yeah, if you want.
Well, I'm gonna grab a water real quick. I'm gonna grab my water bottle. I'm kind
Go
of
on,
thirsty.
that's
All right, let's hear
perfectly
it.
fine. Ferrari, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, coming to this race weekend, I was thinking like, okay, this new suspension upgrade, I'm expecting P1 and P2. Nothing more, nothing less, right? And I was convinced we're actually gonna do something sick. Then when I saw that like in the practices we were just doing like mid, I was thinking like, okay, they're actually cooking behind closed doors, right? And we're actually going to do sick this weekend because usually it's the other way around. Usually we do amazing in P1, P2, P3. comes to the race, qualifying region, and like P8, P9. This weekend was a bit different, right? Leclerc, I was thinking like maybe he's gonna like battle his water demons, if you know what I mean. And I'm not gonna lie, he just doesn't like water, this guy, as we previously mentioned. Hamilton, yeah, stinker, mate, stinker. Up until the race, I don't know what like switched up in him. Maybe he was thinking like, shit, man, like, I don't know. I feel really sort of like renewed after this fake F1 break. He's just ready to sort of like lock in, and bro locked in. He showed that midfielder who's boss. Yeah, he saw all them like little midfielders, like flipping, you know, oh Albon, oh Bortoleto, oh Tsunoda, all this utter woke nonsense, right? He thought, nah, we're not here for this. I'm here to show these guys who is the. Do I call him my GOAT? I kind of rate. No, Alonso's my GOAT. Okay, I'm going to show you these guys who's the third GOAT in Formula One, and he stepped up, and he whipped all of them to pieces, right? Leclerc, let me touch on Leclerc. I've got to stop saying touch on drivers because that's not working out well at all for me. Okay, Leclerc, let me speak about Leclerc right now.
I'm going to join in on the conversation again.
Holding back Verstappen, right? That is like, you know that one time when Spider-Man like held back that bus, right?
Yeah.
That was that move right there. Okay. He was holding back a machine. And when I saw Verstappen gaining on Leclerc, I thought, that's him done. I said to my mate next to me that I went to Formula E with, I said to him like, bro, l'ha mangiato. That basically means he's eaten him. Like he's having Leclerc for his breakfast. Leclerc, nah, mate. He's no bait, right? He's no fish bait, Leclerc. Yeah, he will fight, and he held back Verstappen like a motherfucker. So I rate that. Anyway, that's my Ferrari segment over to you, mate.
Very well done.
Thanks.
I was able to grab my water, grabbed one of my hats.
Proud grandpa.
Pretty sweet, huh?
Us, mate.
All right.
Feels like a glove.
I know. Over the headphones and everything.
Yeah, for any audio listeners.
Yeah, I'm in a new place, and if you're a real big fan, I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore yesterday. It's been a rough few days for the consumer. But we're settled in now. We're settled into my old childhood home with my Travis Scott poster and my Lil Yachty poster from when I was like 15. This is why you should watch the video version. But Spotify and Apple Podcast users, we love you very much. Anyways, so Ferrari, yeah, I agree with everything you said, even though I didn't hear half of it. What do we think about Kimi Antonelli having a rough weekend? Did Kimi Antonelli cry or not?
I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't see that.
He rubbed his tears. His eyes were red, right? He was going like that. His voice was wobbly. He was crying, in my opinion, man. I even posted it on my story. I was like, man, like, you wouldn't catch me like posting, you know, kind of this kind of stuff, like, oh, feeling sorry for other team members. But I like Antonelli. Also, a little pearl of wisdom here. Did you know that my family surname is, in fact, Antonelli?
So why are you named Sewell?
Well, from my mum's side.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what the surname on my mom's side is?
Russell?
No, it's Graham.
No way. So you could have been called Graham.
Well, I don't think I would have been named that, but yeah,
True.
I don't know what, that's why I'm named Graham. Anyways, Zane Antonelli. I didn't see any of this Kimi footage. I actually saw Joe's video on it. I saw her talking about Kimi Antonelli crying, and I immediately thought, oh, I called Isaac Hadjar a bitch when he cried in Australia. And I kind of feel bad about that now. But yeah, I mean, but what was the setting? Give me where did the media catch him crying?
So basically he came out to sort of just do like into the media pen just to like speak about like, you know, the performance or whatever. And he hadn't done well. This was after the qualifying, right? And yeah, he was visibly upset about something. Like he just wasn't happy with the performance and with himself. And I just feel like it's like a pressure thing as well. Like even Hamilton even stepped in and basically just like showed him a load of support. He came to him at the end of the race as well, because I think he set the fastest lap too. And he basically was saying, Hamilton after, he was basically saying how, you know, like he's 18 years old. He's like, he's in the position that like no 18-year-old should be in, like where he's in like a decent car for a rookie, right? At this young age. Like if you're a rookie and you're like 25.
Nick DeVries moment.
You suck it up, you know what I mean, right? But 18 years old in a Mercedes, I feel like we forget as well. Like, I don't know, he doesn't even seem 18 years old. He seems prepubescent, I'm not gonna lie.
That's interesting because when Isaac Hadjar was crying, he was crying on the track when the cameras were obviously going to be on him. And I was hoping that Kimi Antonelli crying was maybe the cameras just zooming into the garage. But if he pulls up to the media pen still crying, like, I just don't think...
Well,
look, there are times where teams do make their drivers go do media then and there, which I guess we're going 2 for 2 on Drive to Survive receipts for that one. It always feels like like they're farming sympathy. Like I can't win this argument because either way people are going to be upset at me for saying that. I just think crying, especially when you know the cameras are on you and like making a big deal about it, I think that reeks of just like, oh, please feel bad for me. Like Logan Sargent always talking down. That was another Lando Norris. Logan Sargent dealt with the same shit. He seemed like he was on social media too much too. Yeah,
that's true. But I mean, to be fair, in Antonelli's case, to stick up for the poor little kid, he was trying to hide it. Like he wasn't like... One thing that nobody can argue with is that, you know, when they said to him, oh yeah, go to Mercedes and learn from George Russell, the only thing that he learned was crying by the seams of it. But the difference is, Russell, when he goes on camera and he cries, he isn't like trying to hide it like Kimi Antonelli.
Oh,
Kimi
he was eyes wide open like, hey, Netflix, you guys getting this? I'm crying over here.
Yeah, exactly. He made a whole song and dance about his crying.
P9 in a Williams.
I just couldn't believe it. Man, shut up.
Dogs and cats, nuts and butts.
I'm saying we move on to your grid rival picks for Hungary. Because last weekend...
Well, we got to go over the tragedy that was Spa first, you know?
Mate, you had the absolute great grid rival depression this weekend.
I got every single one wrong. I cannot believe that is possible. Well, actually, the ones that we did on the podcast, I think I got, because I had two lineups this past weekend. The one that I did on my average F1 consumer video, got all of them wrong. I think the one that we did on the podcast was 4 for 8, which,
okay,
you know, we got Leclerc better than 4.5. We got Verstappen worse than 2.5. We got Hamilton worse than 5th. And then we got Gabriel Bortoleto better than 15th.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember which ones you passed on? Because the ones that I didn't get right.
On Leclerc.
Yeah. Did you pass on Russell better than 4.5? You're not going to remember.
I probably did, yeah. No. I wouldn't have said Russell higher than 4.5.
What about Antonelli 7.5 better?
Honestly, I can't remember.
Yeah, whatever. I know you passed on Hulkenberg, which that was correct. I should have passed. I should have hit the under, but
it finally happened. He finally stopped.
Yeah, he finally had a bad race. But anyways, I'll answer your question. I do have 6 picks here I have 8 for Hungary. I was looking at the wrong thing. All right. Want to play a little game of Smash or Pass?
Go on, man.
Let's do it. Max Verstappen. Oh, I did them all qualifying.
You're taking the piss.
I did all of them qualifying. All right, well, it's a quali weekend here in Hungary.
Let's rock with it.
Max Verstappen qualifying worse than 3rd.
You know what? Pass.
I kind of feel that, but my reasoning here was because I thought it was the race. And last year at Hungary, Max exploded at Hungary because he was up sim racing until 3 a.m. Said that 80 fucking times on the broadcast. That was my reasoning. He has not had a good history with Hungary.
Okay.
So then, I can't believe I did qualifying with all these. Lewis qualifying better than 6th.
Smash, yeah. I think after this weekend he's gassed a little bit. And Hamilton's this kind of person who sort of like feeds off doing sick. You know what I mean?
He does.
So no, I feel like that's a smash, yeah.
He's the opposite of Lando Norris. When he does good, he does even better because he loves the aura. He loves the aura.
Yeah. Such an aura farmer, man.
Alex Albon better than 9.5.
Pass. I'm not liking the Williams recently.
Well, I mean, he did pretty damn good. He placed 6th.
Yeah, but
At Spa, at least.
I don't know, man. I feel like, nah.
All right, fair enough. Generational hater over here. Kimi Antonelli qualifying worse than 7th.
Nah, I feel like he's... Nah, pass.
All right, a lot of passes this week.
Yeah.
Bortoletto qualifying better than 15th.
Smash.
I like it. Lance Stroll qualifying worse than 14th.
And that's the banker, man. Smash.
Come on now.
Easy money.
Hadjar making Q3.
Smash.
And Liam Lawson better than 13th.
Smash.
All right. Solid. We rounded it off well.
So that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube here. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Do your thing, rate them 5 stars. Leave a lovely comment saying, Graham, you're so exceptionally sexy in your old house. Just do your stuff, right? Check out our social media pages, TikTok, Instagram. As you can see on TikTok, we've got a new bio on there as well. So give that a cheeky little listen. A little look, I suppose. Listen to our bio. Anyway, see you guys in Hungary next weekend. Have a good one.
See ya.